All right, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another Sunday stock watch, live Sunday stock watch. We do this every single Sunday right around 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe 1 p.m. out on the West Coast. If you're looking to join an awesome community of like-minded individuals, you want to network with a bunch of like-minded individuals, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below. We now got over 500 of us here. It's awesome just to do these live streams very often and network with a bunch of like-minded individuals. We also have a totally free Discord group chat. I definitely suggest you guys join that group. It's down in the description box. If you don't know what Discord is, you never heard of it, it's just an app you can get for your iPhone, Android, whatever smartphone you have. You click that link, it'll take you right to our group. It's super easy to join, no trying to get your info or anything like that. So definitely suggest you joining that, and just awesome to see how fast we're growing. We have I think around 520 of us now, and we just hit 500 on Friday. So a bunch of new people tuning in for the first time over the weekend. Welcome to all of you. And before we get started, I just want to make sure that our stream is up and going. Looks like we are, and if we have any, because in the past, last week, we had some sound issues. I had some actually just a little bit ago. That's why the stream started a few minutes late. It was acting up again. I always record myself now before going live, so if we have any issues whatsoever, just shout it out there in the chat. Let me know ahead of time, so hopefully I can get that fixed, but we shouldn't have any issues. That's why I test before we go live. But before we even hop into the ticker symbols, everything like that I'll be looking at this week, for those of you that trade natural gas, oil, any type of commodity, I definitely suggest you guys look at this website. It's actually like a government website, apparently. I heard of it for the first time this morning from another YouTuber. I forget his channel off the top of my head. I apologize for that. I actually just randomly found him. My videos were just playing randomly on my TV, and I came across this thanks to whoever it was. I forget now. If I find his channel, I'll be sure to shout him out in the description box. But the link to this is also in the description box, or you can just type it in your phone right now. It's friendly for phones and everything, so it's pretty cool. It's just www.eia.gov, and pretty much I haven't really messed around with this website too much yet. Like I said, I just discovered it this morning, and I kind of like it because from what the guy was telling all of us on YouTube, you can find all the energy reports here. There's day-to-day updates about the demand versus supply when it comes to natural gas, oil, all that stuff. Just pretty cool stuff overall within this website. So I would definitely suggest you guys check it out. It's free, nothing, they don't charge you or anything like that. But I wanted to bring that just to everyone's attention because it can obviously help you a lot whenever it comes to trading your oils, natural gas, all that stuff. But with that being said, we will just hop right into oil and natural gas. Those are two we're mainly going to be discussing today. Of course, if you guys have any other ticker symbols outside of oil and natural gas that you want me to take a look at, you can always shout it out there in the chat box, and I'll definitely be happy to do that for you when I have a moment to do so. But with oil, it's pretty much kind of same old story this upcoming week. You can see we finally crossed over the $55 barrier, and we tried to go below it multiple times on Friday, and we bounced right back above it. We kind of hit a short-term little double bottom there right around 54.85, and then it went right back above 55. So I definitely think now 55 is going to be a support. However, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Monday or Tuesday, I don't know, maybe even Wednesday, we might have a little pullback and retest 55. But throughout the week, I think oil's still going to be pretty bullish. Obviously, we'll have the reports coming out on Thursday, I believe, and at that point, we will see what's going on with oil. But like I said, I'm still long-term bullish oil. I do still think it's going to hit $65, $75 for sure by May, June, July at the latest, probably. June, July tends to obviously be when oil usually gets close to its peak, but sometimes later, obviously. But still, the outlook looks pretty good for oil. Look at the 5-day, 5-minute chart. I wouldn't be surprised either if we kind of stay within this range of around $55 to $57, $58 this week. I do think we're going to keep making new highs for 2019. What does that mean for us? Obviously, if you trade oil futures, then you want to be bullish. But when it comes to your UWT, I'm pretty bullish on that. I think it might get rejected at 15 one more time. How's it going there, Tommy? Do you think oil follows or leads the markets? Not necessarily. I actually heard someone on CNBC mention this. I think it was when the market was kind of starting to recover. They kind of pointed at that. They were like, hey, anyone noticed that the same time the market started going back up was when oil just started finally taking off? I believe it was right around New Year's is kind of when oil finally got its feet underneath it. When we pull up the 180-day chart, you can see oil bottomed out right around Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve, actually. Yeah, Christmas Eve, oil had that, what was like a 7% drop or something like that on Christmas Eve. And then, like, pretty much right after Christmas, it just took a huge leg up to $47. And then it kind of hovered right around 44 to 45, which when we look at, like, SPY, which is another pretty big indicator for the market, it also did the same thing, then kind of hovered around a range as well for a few weeks. And then, coincidentally, right around the 4th is when the market really started to turn itself around. Go to oil, zoom back in here. You can see what day. Coincidentally, right around, what day? Yeah, right around the 3rd, between the 2nd and 4th, oil also started to turn around. I saw multiple people on like CNBC, Bloomberg, all that mention that. But I don't know necessarily if I want to say that oil will lead the market or anything. I mean, let's go way back to, what was it, 2009, when oil was at like, what, $140 a barrel, and the market was still like at the bottom. So I wouldn't necessarily say that by any means, but I can definitely see the correlation. A lot of people say what would be good, what's perfect condition for the market is oil between like $50 to $70. That I do agree with. I think if oil stays between 50 and 70, it's good for everybody all around. Good for the like the U.S. companies that pump oil and all that. It's good for the consumers, obviously, because when oil is around $50 to $70, our gas prices aren't that bad, which I guess for some people that can make a huge difference for like traveling and all that. So I do agree from that standpoint that 50 to 70, even $75 barrel oil is not the end of the world. It's actually good for the economy as a whole, but I still wouldn't say that oil single-handedly would like lead the market or anything like that. But I am still bullish on oil. I think oil is going to long-term go up another $20 a barrel. And when I say long-term, because I know there's so many, most people when you hear long-term, they're talking 1, 2 plus like years. I'm talking 4 to 6 months. Like in the next 4 to 6 months, I'm bullish on oil. I think over the next 4 to 6 months, oil's going to go up probably about 50%. Is that what it'd be? Because I think it's going up about, probably not quite 50%, but about, it's going up probably at the minimum 15%, and at the highest probably around 35%. So I mean, still a big move for oil overall, especially from the low. I mean, you're talking almost 100% uptick in less than a year. What does that mean for us that trade the ETFs, ETNs, all that stuff? UWT, I look for UWT. Like I keep saying, I think it's still going to hit. My price target is still $30 to sell that, which would be about 100%, a little over 100% return on the investment. What does that mean for DWT? I see it probably going back down, honestly, to around $5 probably long term. GUSH as well. GUSH is another one. GUSH, I'm in a little bit there. I'm trying to average down, get it a little bit cheaper, get GUSH and UWT a little bit cheaper. Price target for GUSH isn't quite as high. If I can get it for around 20 bucks a share, I'll probably take some of my positions off just because I know there's going to be a pretty solid resistance right around 20. However, once it breaks 20, if it breaks above 20 and then moves up to say like $23, and then I get a pullback to around 21 and I see some kind of support build, then I'll probably buy some more shares and then ride it on up to probably around $30, and then I'll probably cash everything out right around 30, which in that case you're talking still you're talking about tripling your money almost, because say you got in for average buy cost around 11, if I can get my clicker to work, let's just say 1182 because that's where it landed, and say you can sell most of your shares for around 30 bucks, you're talking 158% return on your money. So there's definitely some big profit to be made with oil this year. Now, just because I'm going based off history and what happens with oil almost every single year, does that mean it's for sure going to happen? No. For all we know, oil could, for some reason, very doubtful, but for some reason, oil could get rejected right around this $55 to $56 area and then take another leg down to $40 or something. Who knows? Anything can always happen, of course. But just going based off recent history, oil always has these. Usually the sell-off happens quicker. It doesn't take a couple months. But oil always has this sell-off, usually around winter time. And then usually spring and summer months, we see oil rise up. Oil goes up to upwards of 70, sometimes $80 a barrel. Obviously, you have those years like back in, what was it, 09, 10, somewhere around there, where oil popped up to like 120, 140, I think even 150, 60 at one point per barrel. I don't remember how high it actually reached, but I know gas prices were like almost $4 a barrel nationwide. I mean, $4 a barrel, $4 a gallon nationwide, and that was crazy times for sure. But yeah, so I mean, like GUSH, drip, or not drip, GUSH, UWT. If you can get in, like UWT for example, anything under $15, I would buy it up. I mean, I wouldn't buy it probably at this specific price right around 15, just because it obviously just came off of a pretty good day. I do think overall oil is probably going to pull back slightly within the next couple days, probably by Wednesday, I would assume, because just look at the last week. It was all the way down to right around 52.25, 52.30, and we're all the way up to now. We're pretty much $3 up, and had a slight down day. What was it, Wednesday or Thursday? We had a slight down day, but it was barely red. I mean, we went red, and then I believe after hours it had pretty much made up all the gains, and then we took off Friday, of course. But yeah, I would like to see oil probably pull back somewhere around like 55, just under 55 one more time. I think we're probably going to. We're going to again build that solid support right around $55. If I can get it for somewhere around there, I'll definitely buy some more UWT and or GUSH, depending on which has the better price action. Let's see, what about the companies? Like BP and ExxonMobil, all those, I don't like investing in actual oil companies, Royal Dutch Shell, all those. There's not enough return on investment there for me. Like, obviously they're not quite as volatile. They did have a hell of a day on Friday. Most of them did. I know, like this is ExxonMobil we're looking at right now. But I mean, look at the 180-day chart. I mean, you're talking a high of $87. So say you got in on a little pullback. How's it going there, Sherry? Or Shirley, sorry about that. How's it going? Say you get a little bit of pullback, say you get in at 74.20, for example, and say it made new 180-day highs. You're talking an 18% return on your investment, and that's if it makes a new 180-day high. I mean, I just don't like the risk versus reward there. If I'm going to be taking on some risk with my money, I want a significant reward. I mean, obviously you can get little dividends and stuff like that. I mean, unless if you're buying thousands of shares, those dividends aren't even really going to matter at the end of the day, especially say for some reason oil starts to go south or something. I mean, the dividend's not worth it, in my opinion. I mean, to each their own, I guess. Like, if you literally have no time to like look at your investments and stuff like that, then maybe the companies like BP, Royal Dutch Shell, ExxonMobil, I know there's more, I just can't think off the top of my head. Those are three I always can come up with. Then maybe they're a better option for you, because usually, I mean, this is a big move for ExxonMobil. Because they just had their earnings. So that's why. They beat their earnings, so that makes sense that they were up almost 4%. But I mean, most days you only have roughly at the max a 1% move on this. But instead of even going to something like this, if you're looking to maybe get in something that's a little bit more safe, just go to like XOP, which is the spider ETF of oil. I mean, you can see this thing only moved about 0.5% on Friday. Say you got in, you can probably get in this around $30. And say you wanted to ride it up to close to a 180-day high, you're talking still almost a 50% return versus that pitiful 18% return that ExxonMobil would give you. And again, it's not quite as volatile whatsoever. You're probably going to have to stay in it a little longer, but I mean, you're talking almost a triple return on that ExxonMobil. Royal Dutch Shell will be about the same. BP will probably be about the same. But I just personally would stick with the ETFs, ETNs, just because I just like them a little bit more. How's it going, Mike? Mike B. Yeah, Venezuela is probably gonna be more of a longer term thing. Kind of like I like to compare it to how the market was a little bit shaky when it came to the whole North Korea situation. Obviously, that you're talking apples and oranges here, but I'm saying like I think it's going to be kind of a more longer drug out thing. I think we'll have news headlines that will either smack oil or cause, more than likely, if anything, cause oil to go up, which will be good for us that are investing into oil. But I think it's going to be kind of a longer drug out thing. I think it's at least going to take until the end of 2019 for all that to get figured out. Who knows? I mean, I might be wrong. It might be this summer or something before something happens. But either way, I don't think it's really going to have a huge impact on oil in the short term, like until probably April, May at least. I mean, let's be real. Venezuela, if you've been keeping up with like Venezuela for a while, like I've kind of been hearing about it for the last 5 or 10, not quite 10, but at least the last 5 years or so. Venezuela has been a shit show for the last more than 5-10 years now. So I mean we're starting to actually, it's starting to actually make headlines and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of action happening right now, but I think it's going to be like long term. Yes, it'll probably impact oil, but at this moment, probably not going to affect oil too much. Probably not even going to affect markets in general too much until, again, once something actually happens. Yes, we're going to see something pretty big probably happen with oil. If I was a betting man, I would say oil's probably going to go up due to whatever happens. But I kind of almost want to compare it to the whole Iran thing. Was it Iran, I believe? Iran or Iraq, one of those crazy Middle Eastern countries that produce a lot of oil. When we threw a bunch of sanctions on them, that caused oil to go up a little bit, if I recall. But I mean, it just took a while for all that to kind of play out. But I mean, a lot of people keep bringing it up. It's kind of on the back burner for me. I still look it up once every couple days just to kind of see what's going on, but it's going to be a while before that. I'm predicting probably at least April or May before we get any kind of solution or sanctions or anything crazy. I thought they actually had some sanctions, if I remember right. I thought we just placed some sort of sanctions on them, or maybe it was just on their leader. I don't remember. Let's see. I think ExxonMobil will pull back to 68. Let's see. Let's go to the 20-day. So 69. I mean, it had this pop because of the earnings and whatnot, so I expect it to at least retrace probably to around 73 for sure. Let's see here. Let's zoom in right there. So you're saying 68, right around here. I don't really know quite about 68, surely. I mean, it's built quite the support right around 70. So I mean, I think it could drop as low as 70, but I think it's gonna probably build a new support right around. You can see 73 was a pretty strong resistance here. It tested 73 pretty heavily 2 or 3 times, kept getting rejected, and then with the earnings, it finally propelled up to almost $76 a share. So I do think it's probably going to retrace to at least $73, $74, but 68, I don't know. We'd have to have a pretty big downtick in oil, which of course, I don't really see that happening. I mean, you're talking oil back to probably $50 a barrel for that to happen. I don't know. I don't think 68, but I do think between 70 on the low end, $70 to $73 is a realistic expectation of a pullback. I mean, if it came, think about it, if it came all the way down from roughly, let's just call it 75, 78, if it came all the way down to around $68, you're talking, what about a 8% move? Something like that, 8 or 9% move, roughly to the downside. But if you think it's going to go down, let me zoom out here so I can see my whole ticker. If you think it's going to move to about, say, 73, you're talking only a 4% move to the downside. I think that can definitely happen. If you're talking roughly $70, which I'm not putting that out of the realm of possibility. You're still talking about a 7% move to the downside. Again, that can definitely happen, but I don't see it really moving down like 10% unless, if of course, the whole market starts to take a leg down. Oil, like I said, comes down to around $50 again, but I don't really see oil coming back down to 50 now. Like I said, I think we might retest 53 at some point, but I don't really see 50, because how much of a drop would that be now? And like I said, I could be wrong, been plenty of times, but right now we're right around 55.34. If we came all the way down to 50, we're talking almost a 10, yeah, about a 10% move down in oil, and I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Again, the whole market could take another turn down, which I would not be surprised if that happened. I'm actually in the group that thinks the market is about to take another leg down. I just don't think oil is going to go down with it. I think we're at least going to come back down to around 264, 265 on SPY, which is of course a spider ETF of the S&P 500. So overall, I expect the market to probably pull back some more. That's only a 2% downtick. I mean, we might even come clear back down to around 255. That's kind of what I'm expecting, another 5% pullback at some point in the next probably week is what I'm kind of predicting on that. I don't know. I just have no faith in this overall market. I mean, we're so late stage. It's just, I would be shocked if we continue. I mean, there's people. Notice you're not hearing anyone talk about all-time highs. I mean, no one thinks I've yet to meet anyone that thinks we're gonna make new all-time highs on S&P 500, Dow Jones. I mean, everyone's just kind of like, yeah, we're probably gonna be in this range of right around 2,600 on the S&P 500 and what they say, like 2,750, which would be about like 275 or something like that on SPY. I mean, no one is talking about making new all-time highs or anything like that. So that alone tells me that, I mean, we're getting super close to the end of this cycle. It's just how much longer is it gonna stay in this little tunnel? So it'll be interesting to see. OPEC, yeah, the OPEC. I don't even know when the next OPEC meeting is. How's it going there, Josh? I don't know when the next OPEC meeting is. Or are you saying OPEC messed with Venezuela? Let's we've talked a lot about oil. We haven't even hit on natural gas yet. I know we got a lot of people, a lot of new people especially, that are tuning in that are all about the natural gas game. So we've got what, about an hour and a half until the futures market opens too. Probably won't be on that long. But natural gas, I've kind of hit on this a lot the last few days. I think natural gas is probably going to test 270 this week, at least. And I mean, if we break 270, it's going to drop quick to 250. I'll be the first to call that out now. When we look at our 1 year, 1 day chart, I mean, you can see once you break 270, right around 270, 271, your next support's going to be right around 255, 250 to 255. So, I mean, our 180-day chart, when we look at our 4-hour 180-day chart, I mean, obviously we've had quite the sell-off. It's starting to show signs of oversold. Would not be surprised whatsoever if we have some sort of a bounce and try to retest 280. 280 is probably going to be the next resistance. As you can see, 280, between 280 and 285 was quite the support for us for a while, but then we broke that down, I think Thursday or Friday. Friday we really broke everything down, and Friday was not a good day, of course, for natural gas, but I just don't see it coming back up to like 3 or anything. I think, like I said, 280, 285 maybe on natural gas, which could mean maybe a quick day trade for UGAZ. However, I just think DGAZ is the best play right now when it comes to natural gas. Like I said, wait for some sort of a little pullback. Probably you can get this probably for at least $95 to $100. Probably a decent price target to get this would be around $97, I would say. And then with that, I think you're probably going to be able to sell it for at least $120. So I mean, even if you decided to hop in at $100, you're talking a 20% return on your money, probably sometime this week. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, I'm not too bullish on natural gas at all. I'll look at that website that I mentioned to you guys, but and I don't know. I don't know how many of you were tuning in when I brought this website up. I was actually watching another YouTuber. I feel bad for not remembering his channel name. I just came across it on my TV. He mentioned this website, www.eia.gov. It's also down in the description box. It's very phone friendly, so you can use it while you're on the go, like at work and whatnot. But haven't really dove into it yet, but it has a lot of great information when it comes to just natural gas, crude oil, coal, all that good stuff. So I mean, if you're into trading oils, natural gases, all that good stuff, definitely check this website out on a daily basis. I mean, they update this stuff like hourly, it sounds like. So I'll definitely be using this website quite a bit. Like I said, that's down in the description box. You don't have to have a membership or nothing. It's a .gov website, so I mean, it's all just free for the public. How's it going there, Law? I think you subscribed today. Welcome. Anything missed? Are you asking if you missed anything? All we did so far, we just started talking about natural gas. We hit on oil for a little bit. How's it going there too, Trade Doc? You're in drip, nail biting. Oh yeah. I think you'll get a pullback. I mentioned that a second ago. I think oil's probably going to pull back a little bit to around like 54 to 55. You might get it down to 53 at some point, but I think 54 to 55 will be probably the lowest oil's going to go this week. The only way, I would not hold drip or DWT overnight. I would be too afraid to. Oil's just been moving up lately. Oil's been moving up lately. And I mean, I trade DWT. I made a quick little like 1.2% profit on it on a day trade on Friday. But day trading is about all I would do for the short oil positions right now. Oil's just it's very bullish right now. Gold. We're going to talk about gold too. We'll hit on natural gas a little bit more real quick, and then gold, we're definitely going to hop into some gold. But you're saying get into oil. Do not get, in my opinion, never, obviously I always say never trade based off of like my opinion, anyone else's, but I'm not feeling good about natural gas. Now, I'm not like a natural gas expert. I've said that on this channel over and over. I don't know a lot about natural gas. That's why I don't really ever invest in it or trade it too often. But I know oil pretty well. And of the two, I would be like I just said, I'm super bullish on oil. Since you just tuned in, Law, I'll go back to that real quick. Oil, super bullish. I mean, we're testing $55 right now. Looks like we're going to hold that as a support now. After that, I think the next major area of resistance is going to be around $65, which if you're into the stuff like UWT, GUSH, anything like that, you'll probably be able to get in this for around $14 at some point. You're going to sell it for around $30. Boom, 115% profit. That's a longer term trade. I mean, you're talking holding till May, June, maybe even July at the latest. But for 115% return on investment, that's worth it to me. GUSH, same deal. You can probably get in this for probably around $11.30, $11.25. I'm going to take some shares off right around $20. 81% return on investment, not too bad in my opinion. Then I'm going to probably take all my positions off at 30, 171% return. Whereas whenever you're looking at UGAZ descending majorly, natural gas continues to sell off. I look for natural gas to, like I mentioned, I think right before you tuned in, it's going to test 270 this week. Probably not going to find much support there at all. And then after that, when we look at our 1 year chart, our next support's right around 250 to 255. So I predict it's going to keep falling from there, unless if we have some kind of just major cold snap that no one sees coming. I mean, this upcoming week, it's supposed to be, at least where I'm at in Dallas, Texas, it's supposed to be like almost 80 degrees. Today, tomorrow, Tuesday. I mean, like this week is supposed to be abnormally warm. So I mean, unless if we have some 2 to 3 week super cold snap come in, it's not looking very good for natural gas, in my opinion. But you might get some kind of dead cat bounce. However, what I had mentioned is, what does that mean? Instead of UGAZ, hop over to DGAZ. Try to get in for around $100 or less. You're probably going to be able to sell this for around $120. Zoom in here. You're probably going to be able to sell this for right around $120, $118 to $120. So you're talking a probably 15 to 20% profit probably within the next week or two, in all honesty. I'm just not probably going to buy any because I'm not ever super confident in natural gas. There's a lot to understand about it, where oil, I mean, it's just, it does the same stuff almost every year. So let's see here. Yeah, worth looking into for a day trade. Let's see. Talking about DGAZ, I assume, on the one you were just talking about with pullback Monday or Tuesday. Because, yeah, I think natural gas will probably pull back. Well, I mean, pull back. Natural gas might try to retest 275 to 280, or did I say 285? Either way, it's probably going to have some sort of a dead cat bounce, which that's why I'm saying you can probably get in DGAZ between $95 and $100. Let's see here. I was wondering why you have ceiling fan on. You got your AC running. Yeah, I have a slide glass door for the patio and whatnot. I had it open with the fan on, but since I've been having mic issues and the fan points right towards the mic, I wasn't trying to like have everything all messing up the mic or anything. But yeah, like right now it's like 70 degrees or something, man. It's awesome. That's why I moved here. I couldn't stand that cold weather up in Missouri. Let's see here, another cold air supposedly. Yeah, I don't really go by what weather people say on that. They thought this was going to be like one of the coldest winters and whatnot, and that hasn't happened. I heard there's supposed to be tons of snow and whatnot. Let's pull up drip real quick for trade doc. Let's see. Oh, you all can see the ceiling fan though? I didn't know I had the camera pointed that high. Let's see, what'd you say about drip? Bought drip at the, oh, you bought drip at the top on Friday? Is that what you're saying? At 345. Oh, so you bought it for around what? Right around 1080, somewhere in there, 1080 to 1082. That sucks too, because this sure did. It gave you the double top signal and everything, and then came down. I'm guessing you probably bought it somewhere right here, thinking you had some confirmation. But I mean, I still think this is probably gonna push up to $11 short term at some point. I mean, $11, that's a big move for drip too, because right now it's at 1060. You probably got in, what we say, around 1080 was right around you got in, right? Yeah, right around 1080. So I mean, if it moves to around $11, which I think it will, you're talking a 1.6 return. I mean, you're not talking anything big or anything, but it can happen. Just don't get caught bag holding. If it breaks, let me pull up the 1 hour chart. Nah, I don't really like the 1 hour chart on that. 5 day. I would honestly say if this thing broke 1045, I would probably cut my losses. I mean, I know it sucks and all, but at that point, you're talking roughly a 3 to 4% loss, which I would take that over. Your next stop is going to be around $10. You're talking 7%, so you're talking almost doubling your loss. I'd probably set a stop loss right around 1045, maybe even 1050. That's a pretty tight stop loss there. I know some people say set a stop loss of -2%. I just don't see the point in that, especially when we're trading stuff as volatile as drip, GUSH, UWT, DWT. These things move up. I mean, you can see GUSH will start out down 4% on the day, and then by the end of the day, it's up 6. So, I mean, I would set like a -4% stop loss when it comes to these ETFs and ETNs, but to each their own when it comes to that. UWT long term. UWT and GUSH, I mean, they move the same. So, pull up their 180-day charts. UWT, I'm long term. GUSH, I'm long term. Like, I'm planning on probably holding these. I mean, it depends, because I mean, oil could jump up to $65 by the end of February, and if that happens, I'll probably take some of my positions off. But, and actually, I don't even have a lot right now. I plan on buying some more this week because I'm betting on some sort of a little pullback at some point this week. But it just depends on how long it takes to get there. I mean, I didn't think we were going to be almost at $56 by the end of this last week. I thought oil would touch 55, come back down to around $52, build some support there before going up higher. But I mean, we're kind of indicating that we're probably going to stay above $55 throughout the week. And all, so it kind of sucks because I was hoping to get in some more cheap shares of GUSH and UWT, but with those, I mean, it just depends on how long it takes to hit my price target, essentially. Because like GUSH, like I said, I'll probably take some positions off around 20 because we're gonna have some resistance there, $19 to $20. So I don't want to get caught like bag holding or anything, because for all we know, that first resistance could be where it gets smacked, and I don't want to lose out on opportunity of locking in some of that profit. Of course, I'll probably take like I'd say at least a quarter of my positions off the table at that point, and if or when it pulls back some, maybe I'll buy some more and then hold it up to 30. But 30 is my ultimate, where I'm probably just gonna say, you know what, I'm taking my profits and running, because that's over 100% return for me at that point. UWT, almost the same. But instead of taking any positions off, I mean, I might consider taking some off around 20, because when we look here, you might have some resistance right around $19 to $20, but not as much as GUSH. So it just depends kind of how it's moving once it approaches that price, but more than likely going to keep it all the way through about $30, and that'll also be like 100% return on the investment as well. Oh yeah, sure thing, Trade Doc. Yeah, you're pretty much thinking how I'm thinking on that, because the thing is whenever oil is bullish, like it is right now, it's kind of like natural gas too. Natural gas is pretty bearish right now, so I would want to trade the bullish ETF, ETN, UGAZ. I would only want to day trade it, because I would wait until there's a massive drop, buy it really quick, sell it in like 10 or 15 minutes, because it's going to have a dead cat bounce where it pulls up 2 to 5%, and then just take that profit and move on, and then put it into like DGAZ, because as that pops up, DGAZ is going to come back down a little bit on the price. Then you can put that money into DGAZ and hold that for a couple days, until at least there's some sort of reversal where oil becomes bullish. I mean, oil becomes bearish, or natural gas becomes bullish. But I mean, yeah, natural gas just keeps on getting slammed. So why would I put money into UGAZ for more than a few minutes? Oil is just on a roll right now, so why would I hold DRIP or DWT for longer than a few minutes either? I held my DWT shares for about an hour on Friday, and I sold them off early because I was at work. I was trading on my phone. I couldn't like do a whole lot of technical analysis. I saw there was some resistance. I talked about this some, I think, on Friday. I saw some resistance here. I got it for a great price. I got filled at $8.50, and I saw right off the bat there was some resistance right around $8.60. It came clear down to $8.50, and I kind of got worried. I was like, oh man, this thing might be getting ready to take another leg down. So it was right around here where it dropped again down to $8.54 that I placed my limit order at $8.60. I was like, this thing's gonna hit $8.60. I'll take my very slim profit and move on. Of course, it ended up going up like another 2%. Always happens that way, right? But never catch the FOMO, because once you start catching FOMO is when you start making big mistakes. Always be happy to take some profit and move on. But DWT, DRIP, those I would only strictly day trade. Always day trade them on the lows of the day. Usually happens all the time right around lunchtime or just after lunch, in most cases. I mean, sometimes it's earlier on. Like you can see, let's just pull up the last, what was this, Wednesday, Thursday. So Wednesday's low of the day, right around 11 a.m. Thursday's low of the day, right around, that was pretty early actually, right around 10 a.m. So I mean, just look right around 10 a.m. to noon Central Time. Eastern Time, that'd be 11 a.m. So like 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Just be on the lookout for those lows of the days. Buy them up real quick, and then I mean, who knows? You never know how high that dead cat bounce is gonna go. Say you got in right around the low of the day on Thursday, and you rode that puppy up some. That's 6% swing right there. say you were feeling ballsy that day and you wrote it up more, that's a 10% swing that day. Now, obviously, that was a pretty crazy day for oil. I think that was the day oil went from green to red. But, I mean, you never know. Look at this case where, say, you got in around 887. You wrote it up here. Bam, 3.29% at 916. Wrote it longer, 4 point. You just never know. But don't ever get FOMO. Don't ever get that fear of missing out, because there's always a chance to make 1% here, 2% there. Just don't try to squeeze it too much. GE, yeah, I heard GE had a hell of a day on, for, was it Thursday or Friday? Thursday. Jumped all the way up over $10. That's insane. Was it their earnings? So their earnings, I didn't even hear exactly what happened. I heard it popped for some reason, but I don't like GE. I've never liked GE as a company in general. I think they've got way too much going on within their company. I do think you're going to get a squeeze to about $11 or $12 before it gets smacked again. But I still just don't like the company. I don't like the stock. I just think it's going to eventually go to like JCPenney status, like $1 to $2 a share. Bears raining down on natural gas. Hell yeah. UWT to 26. Is that what you're thinking long term? Let's see. Let's pull up where it'll hit that resistance. $26 would be... Need to hit gold futures in a minute too, so we can talk about some gold. Yeah, you're definitely gonna get 26 out of this, but I think right around 30 is where $30 to $31 is where you're gonna hit some pretty major resistance on UWT. And I mean, who knows? I mean, if oil rips up to $70, $80 a barrel, $50 is not out of the realm of possibility. So I mean, my price target overall is $30. I'll probably take a lot of my positions off at $30 on UWT, but if it looks like oil's on a run, there's nothing really looking like it's going to stop it, I might hold 10 to 25% of my position and see how much exactly I can get out of it. Because I mean, if I can hold some from around $30 and sell around 40, I'm talking another 36% return. Hold it towards 50, I mean, you're talking almost a 70% increase on your return on investment. So I mean, I'll just play it by ear and see what happens. But yeah, I think $25 to $30 you're definitely going to get that out of UWT. And same with GUSH. You'll probably get 30, $20 to $30 easily. It's funny you say that, because I was looking at investing in, I think it was Cron on, it was like Wednesday, and I was like, oh man, Cron had a big day. The date, what was it? I was looking at, so Friday, Thursday, yeah, I was looking at it Wednesday afternoon, and I was like, oh man, it's actually up on the day. I don't like I'm not the type to really like to buy stuff on an up day, because I'm like, surely within the next couple days it'll have a down day, and I'll feel more happy getting something on sale, quote unquote. Even if it's just that it's pulling back and making a support, I'll at least have some confirmation that's going to keep going up, right? And then I saw Thursday, bam, up. Then I got the notification Friday, it was up to like 22. I was like, holy shit, I should have just hopped in and bought a few shares, because if I had bought some on, what would that be, Wednesday morning? Or no, it would have been Thursday morning I'd invested. Say I bought some Thursday morning and I wrote it up, you're talking a 10-15% return on investment. So, I mean, I missed out, but I don't know a lot about weed, so I don't really like investing. I mean, I'm overall pretty bullish on weed. I think overall, I mean, I'm not like a weed smoker or anything like that, but I mean, it's getting legalized everywhere. I think probably by 2020, between 2020 and 2025, I bet weed's probably going to be legalized just all over the United States. To some degree, at least medical at the minimum. I mean, it's almost is nationwide anyways, but I think by 2020 it's probably going to be just full-fledged legal nationwide medically, and then who knows, recreationally, probably within the next 2 to 5 years, I'm betting. So I mean, that's overall a bullish take on weed, but I just want to read a lot more into it before I invest in it for sure. Let's see, 55 is top for oil. I don't know. No, I don't know about that. Let's see, you said 47, 43. Yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. If you're right, I mean, you can make a lot of money for sure. If you end up shorting oil trade doc and that works out, I definitely want to hear. But I don't know. The fact that it held above 55 on Friday, very bullish sign in my opinion. Because you can see on Thursday we got rejected hard at 55, and that was when even I was like, man, we're probably going to pull back to, like I said, $50 to $52. But then Friday came around, and I mean, we just went poof, right through 55. We pulled back. It tried to go below it, and then bam, it came right back above it, and we ended the day on Friday above 55. So I mean, that's pretty bullish in my opinion. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. You made 20% on Cron, awesome. Got in at 1770 and wrote it out, awesome. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really pull back at all. Spiked over to there, so oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even hear that. I was wondering what caught, because there was a lot of wheat stocks. It wasn't just Cron. I think Tilray, whatever the hell the name of it is, TLRY. It was up too. It's been up kind of the last couple days. A bunch of the wheat stocks were up Thursday, Friday. MJ? What's it? What is this? What is MJ? I've never heard of this. Ow, I got something in my eye. I don't know what MJ is. It's good to hold, sell calls against it. Yeah, that makes sense. By looking at how much of a rip it's been on lately. What is MJ anyways? I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into that one. Bull trap. It's been on a hell of a run, that's for sure. But yeah, I'd be kind of bearish on this short term. I think it's going to retrace to $34 roughly. Oh, it's a weed ETF? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be kind of short on this. Looks like it might be getting ready to roll over short term. You'll probably get it to come down to around 34.25. But yeah, I don't really know a lot about them. I'll have to add that one though, just so I can go back to that. Put on my ETFs. But let's go over to the gold futures, because we've been, oh, what did you say? RWLK. We'll talk about gold futures here in just a second. You said RWLK consolidating at 30 cents. Bill Gates just took a look at it. Bought in at 32 cents, considering taking the L. So the only thing I do not like is I never like penny stocks. Penny stocks is actually how I got started in the stock market. But I just don't like them overall. I mean, they're too easy to manipulate. Let's see, you got in at 32. I don't know. I think yeah, I believe I'm there with you on it, consolidating at 30 cents. Let's see, 20-day, 1 hour. I would still be bullish on this though. I think you'll be able to get it up to about, it's going to at least probably test 33 cents again at some point. I think it might even make a new high, or new, looking at our 1 hour, 20-day chart. It'll probably approach 35 cents, I would bet. So, because I mean, this is a pretty bullish chart, at least on our 1 hour, 20-day. But obviously, I don't really like it that much, in all honesty, for like a long-term play. And with penny stocks is another thing that I just would not want to hold overnight. I would want to get in and get out within an hour at the most. Because, I mean, you can see this thing came down all the way to 30 cents. It hopped up. These are for people that are getting in and out of trades within minutes. Because say you got in at the low, say you got in at 30, just over 30 cents, and you rode this up to just over 31. I mean, you're talking a 5% return right there. So, I mean, with these, you want to trade these quick. You don't want to be holding these for a whole day, 2 days for sure, anything like that, over weekend especially. But, I mean, that 1 hour chart is kind of, it is a little bullish. I mean, I think you're probably going to get it at least to 32, 33 cents again. So, I mean, it might even end up breaking even or even making you some profit. But, you're definitely gonna, you might get caught back holding on that one. But generally you want to trade these within minutes. You tried to day trade it, but it consolidated quickly. So you say you bought it at 32 cents. I don't know if you did you buy it on Friday, I assume? So if you bought it at 32, I'm assuming you bought it. Trying to figure out where. I'm assuming you bought it somewhere around 11 a.m. Eastern time. Somewhere in there. I'm assuming you bought it somewhere around here, which volume. What's the volume on this? I don't like the volume on this either, on the minute by minute. I want something with at least 100,000 volume per minute average, and this has like as low as 6,000. I just don't like this stock overall. If you can break even on this, I'd get out. But let's see, it's at 31 to 31.90. You might be able to break even tomorrow. It'll just be okay. There's what you said about Bill Gates examines them. Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting. It might pop on Monday due to this. When was that? Oh, that was on the 24th. So that's old news. Yeah, no. If you can end up breaking even or even making a slight profit out of this, I would just, that would be a win in my opinion. If you make your money back plus maybe a couple cents of profit, just take that little butt whooping and move on. That would actually be a win. But let's go over to the gold futures. So gold pretty much ended the day unched on Friday. But overall, it has been crazy bullish lately, but I do think it's getting ready to roll over. You can see we've just been on a roll with gold lately. But looking at our 1 year chart, if I remember right, we're just above our old support way back last year, right around April, May last year. That was around 13, was about 13.10. And you can see right now we're at 13.22. So, I mean, it did definitely go through it. I look for gold to retrace to around 13.10. And you can see just by looking at that 1 hour chart, you can see it's kind of starting to run out of steam. And it looks like it's getting ready to take a dip south. And I look for it to probably, like I said, retrace at least to around 13.10. Some are saying it's going to come clear back down to around 1300 or under. I don't know about that. I think it's going to come down to 13.10 first. But overall, I'd be slightly bearish on gold right now. It's been on a roll lately. I mean, if you're in, what would that be, JNUG? I don't know why it's trying to hide all the stuff. But if you're in I think it's JNUG. Yeah, if you're in JNUG right now, hopefully you're covering some sort of profits, because if I remember right, it's came, okay, so it set up a good little support around 850. I mean, you're talking a 38% return roughly on your investment. So, I mean, that's where, again, just don't be greedy. I mean, if anything, take some positions off, guys. I mean, if you've got hundreds or thousands of positions, which I know a lot of us here don't, I mean, that's a lot of money. But even if you've got, say you only have 10 shares of this or something, take 5 of them off. You got 36% return on your money. Take half of that position off, lock in that profit, and if it goes higher, awesome, then you'll make some more. But at least take some of it off. That way you're not going to mess around and lose all your profit or cut into your profit majorly or anything like that. But, I mean, short term, at least for this week, I'm probably going to be pretty bearish on gold. I don't personally trade gold really. I trade JDST and JNUG some about a year ago. It's just not really my thing. Oil is more my thing. Oil, somewhat natural gas. I would say if there was an order of favorite to least favorite, oil would be number 1, natural gas would be 2, and then probably gold would be 3. I rarely trade gold. Oh, so you're bullish on JNUG? And what's Sand? Is that pretty much another, is like a gold company or something? Sandstorm Gold, yeah. Let me see here. I mean, they're overbought right now, which is why you're seeing such a slight pullback within gold futures, because I'm wondering why it had a perfect double top on Friday, right around 1328. I wonder what caused that. Let's go back to our 1 year chart. I want to see what happens right around 1328. I don't really see nothing around 1328. I mean, you can see right here, it was a little bit of a support. Right around here, it was a little bit of support back in March too. And then it came clear down to right around 1310. But that's interesting that it got rejected like that, right at 1328. But I mean, just don't be surprised if gold pulls back to 1300, 1310, somewhere in there. If anything, if you're bullish overall on gold and JNUG, then if anything, it's a buying opportunity. Let it drop some this week and then buy some more if you're still bullish on it at that point. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't really trade gold a lot, but I would definitely, if anything, I would love to see it pull back to right around 1290 to 1295. See whether we had some resistance here for a little bit. This is the 180 days, so you can see from about the beginning of the year until, hell, for about 2 weeks here, we had some resistance right around 1290. I would like to see it come back to around 1290, 1295, build some support there, and then keep going higher. You'd have some good, that'd be a good buying point, which for JNUG, if you like trading JNUG, that'd mean you want to see it touch right around 1030, 1040, somewhere around there. And then if it makes a new high, you're talking a 14% return. Like I said, I mean, if you're just holding JNUG right now, like, just take a little bit of that position off. Better safe than sorry. Depending on where you got in, better safe than sorry to take some of that off, cover some of that profit, and if it keeps going higher, like I said, cool, you'll make more money. But just don't get caught bag holding is all I'm saying. How's it going there, Freddy channel? How's it going? UGAZ. Let's talk about UGAZ again real quick. UGAZ overall, I think it's going to make some more lower lows on our 180-day chart. I think it's going to definitely make a new low this week. But I would not be surprised. I mentioned this with natural gas. I do think it's going down to at least 270 this week, and it might find some support there. If not, it's really in trouble. But with as much as it's been down the last week, I wouldn't be surprised if you get some dead cat bounce to around 280, maybe, just maybe even around 285. But right around 280, you're going to have some pretty solid resistance. So if anything, UGAZ is strictly day trade. I would look for some type of a short-term drop on it, like you can see on Friday, for example. It had this drop all the way down to 33.31. You probably could have got in around 33.40, rode it up to around 33.85. I mean, it's 1%. I mean, it's a bit harder to day trade, in my opinion, than the oil ETFs and ETNs. But there's some day trading opportunities. If you're looking for something like a longer term, like a swing trade, holding something for a few days, look at a buying opportunity within DGAZ. I think DGAZ, again, you're probably going to be able to get it for under $100. I think 97 is realistic. And I do think this thing long term is going back up to 120. That's where you're going to hit a pretty solid resistance right around 115 to 120. So even if you got in at $100, you're probably going to have a good 10 to 20% return on your investment at some point. Really overbought, anticipating major dip. Best opportunity to buy oil. Yeah, I mean, I love oil, man. Oil's, in my opinion, oil is the #1 commodity to like be in right now. I mean, that's just my opinion. Like I said, I just go off of trends. Same stuff happens almost every single year. Oil takes a big dip, takes a good 20-40% dip. Usually it happens a lot quicker. Whatever happens, 10, 20, 30, 40% dip, it usually happens a lot quicker. It's not drug out for 2 or 3 months, but either way, it always has a pretty big sell-off, and then you can always get good buying opportunities within GUSH, UWT, even those oil companies like ExxonMobil and whatnot, they come down to good buying targets, and I mean, you can make some really good returns on your money trading those. But oil, I mean, it just, if you actually go back, look at charts over the last 10, 20 years on oil, you will see, literally, it does almost the same thing year after year. Almost identical. The timing can be slightly different from time to time, but usually it has the same stuff happen all the time. Major sell-off, slow but steady, come back up to around $50 to $75. When's the best time to get in on either tick? What, UWT and... So for UWT, I'm actually in at a really high price. I think I'm actually still down on my position slightly. I might actually be up finally. I don't remember my exact buy price, but I know I got in at like $14.89, something crazy. I mean, I bought it to... I pretty much had bought UWT because... I was actually in DWT because I was in the boat at first. I thought oil was going to pull back to around 50, but then once I started actually looking at the chart harder Wednesday, Thursday, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm starting to think oil's going to keep going. So I bought some really high at $14.89 to kind of hedge my DWT position and whatnot. And then the DWT ended up making me some money when this pulled back. You can see this pulled back all the way to 13.45. So I actually ended up making profit on the DWT, like 3 or 4%, something like that. But DWT, honestly, anything under $15, in my opinion, is a good buy point. But you might be able to get this for around, I would say, it's probably going to retest 14 at some point. Which, if or when it does, you better believe I'll be buying some of that up. If this comes down to 14, I'll probably spend some decent money on it. Same thing with GUSH. GUSH, if I can get this for $11 or less, I'll probably get quite a bit of it. But I'm looking at the wrong chart, 20-day. But looking at my chart, I just don't have a good feeling that this is going to come all the way back down to 10.50. Not 10.50 is where I originally wanted to buy a bunch of GUSH up. I just don't see it coming back down that far. I do think we'll get it for around 11.25 maybe, but honestly, anything under 11.50, I'll probably buy some more GUSH. My average buy price on GUSH is like right at 11.50 if I remember right. So pretty much anything under 11.75, 11.50 on GUSH is a decent price as well. I mean, you gotta think longer term, like 1 week at least when you're trading GUSH and whatnot, in my opinion, because like I said, oil, it is overall going to keep climbing. It just depends on how long it's going to take. You're going to have these little pullbacks with oil. You'll have those little 2% drops, and pretty much what I'm going to do is whenever I got a feeling that we're going to have a down day or something, I'll buy a little bit of DWT, I'll buy a little bit of drip, and then I'll make some money on some day trade, and then I'll take that profit and throw it into some more UWT and or GUSH. But I mean, you gotta think, I mean, you're gonna get this for around $20, like long term. So if you got in, say you even got in at 11.82 on GUSH, which is above where it's at right now, obviously. Again, 62% return on your investment at 19, 75% roughly, just above 20, and then you hold it to around 30, 154. So I mean, you got to think long term. I mean, saving 20 cents a share means a lot, but when you keep it in perspective that long, you don't want to miss out on that big opportunity just because, oh man, I'm holding out for another dime, I'm holding out on another 20 cents or something. That's what I'm doing. I'm diversifying into both, because there's some days where GUSH won't really move quite as much. Like you can see here, GUSH was up 1.39% on Friday. UWT was up almost 7.5%. So on that day, I wasn't like buying any UWT or anything. I wasn't selling it. I was just holding on it. Where GUSH, if I remember right, I actually took a few positions early on when GUSH had a dip early on that. Yeah, I believe I did. I don't remember for sure. But I think I bought early on whenever I had the morning dip on GUSH. So I mean, I'm diversifying. It just depends on the price action, in all honesty. But again, I'm thinking more longer term. Anytime I see a good buy price, I'm just pretty much buying a few more shares here and there. Oil at 55.34. Yeah, that's it. What is it now? 55.37, something like that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how the oil market opens up here in about an hour, because like I said, I'm still bullish, but by all means, I would not be surprised if today or tomorrow oil drops down under 55 by any means. If it drops under 55, does that mean I'm going to be bearish? No, absolutely not. But I definitely want to see it try to hold right around 54.85. But at the same time, on the roll that it's been on lately, it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see it dip to about 53.50 either. If it drops down that far, I'll be scooping some stuff up. I'll definitely say that. But I mean, you can see, I mean, oil is slightly overbought right now. I mean, there's nothing really hiding that. I mean, 180-day chart starting to approach signs of overbought too. So I mean, oil along with the rest of the market's been on a good roll lately. But yeah, more than likely tomorrow or Tuesday. Something tells me that oil's probably going to be up tomorrow, but either way, I think within the next 2 days, by Wednesday for sure, we're going to have some sort of a pullback. Because, I mean, oil, again, it's just been on a roll. It only had, what, one down day last week, I think? I think it was Thursday, if I recall. I think there was Thursday the down day. I forget. I know we only had like one down day all of last week. So I mean, it's due for a solid 1 or 2 down days. How big of a down day? Who knows? I'm not predicting like -2% or anything though. I'm thinking maybe 1% at the most. So I mean, if it drops 1% tomorrow morning or something, you're gonna be talking what about? If it drops a whole percent, you're talking just under 55, which is about what I think it'll drop. So I mean, that wouldn't be bad at all. X is X steel? Let's see. Yeah, that's steel. I don't like steel. I've never really gotten into it. I think I've traded this a few times as well. Yeah, you can see I did some BS on it last year, but I mean, descending, I don't really like it. But I mean, if it drops clear down to $17 again, yeah, I would consider buying some. But at $22, it's not really. I mean, if we take a look here, oops, I mean to zoom in that far. Take a look here. Yeah, I don't know. It hit or miss. I just don't really like it that much. What was the earnings on it? 191 versus 182 actual. So no, earnings missed too. I don't know. I just don't like it that much. And I didn't even watch the State of the Union. Might be. Oh, is it coming up? Yeah, I don't even keep up with like the State of the Union stuff. But I mean, it might be a good buy. I don't know a lot about it. I mean, I just by looking at the chart, I just don't really like it that much. I would like to get in under $20 at least, but who knows? Might look at it a month or two from now and it's up over 25. So who knows? I just don't really like steel that much. There's just not enough. The risk versus reward just isn't really good enough in my opinion. In my opinion, the ones to really keep a lookout for is like your oils, natural gas, some gold, and then obviously your technology, so your apples, all that good stuff. Apples, I don't really like Apple right now. It's not attractive around 165. I look for it to pull back some, probably around like 160. If you can get this for around 160, I would consider swing trading it. Boy, Jim Cramer loves him some Apple, doesn't he? That dude's nuts. He probably got caught bag holding when it dropped down to 142. That's probably why he's so mad that people are talking stuff on Apple. But I haven't even checked how the stream's doing. And like I said too, this website right here, it will help you a lot if you're trading natural gas, oil, I think coal too, stuff like that. I mean, if you're into any of like the commodities, this website EIA.gov is down in the description box. It's a government website, so like I mean, it's obviously free and whatnot. There's a bunch of stuff there for people that are looking to invest in commodities and whatnot. I just found out about this today, so I'll be diving into this website a lot, and I'll be sure to post it also in the Discord group chat for those of you that are in there. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to add you to this awesome community of like-minded individuals, and that Discord group chat I mentioned is down in the description box. There's about 50 of us in there now, so it's awesome to communicate, network with a bunch of like-minded individuals. We've had like 4 of you join today. That was pretty awesome, and the channel overall has been growing pretty quickly since like Friday. We've added like 20 people since like Thursday, Friday, so that's awesome as well. But hopefully the stream has been doing all right. Like I said, we got 6 of you tuning in. It's awesome to see you all here on a Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl. I mean, I think the whole thing was set up. Is it coincidence that Tom Brady's playing the same team that he won his first Super Bowl against? I got a sneaky feeling it's set up for him to win his last one against the same team he beat for his first one. That's just my opinion. I think the whole thing's set up. So I'm just not watching it this year. I don't like either team anyways. I think the Saints definitely got robbed and should have been in the Super Bowl, but that's a whole nother subject. And obviously I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm from Missouri, so I was obviously pretty mad that the Chiefs didn't make it either. But yeah, it's awesome to see 6 of you in here on a Sunday afternoon. I think the Super Bowl would start in like, what, an hour or so. But on that note, I guess I'll go ahead probably and just wrap the stream up. Like I said, I cannot thank you guys again for all the support. And like I said, if you haven't already, check out that Discord group chat. I think you'll like it. I mean, the app is super smooth on the iPhone, Android, and all that. There's about 50 of us in there now. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me if you have any questions or anything like that throughout the day. During the week, I can be slow to reply at times because, like most people, have a daytime job too and whatnot. But it's definitely the easiest way to get a hold of me because I get notifications through it super quick. Where YouTube sometimes can take hours to let me know that somebody commented on a video, unless if I'm checking it myself. But and if you haven't already, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below. Like I said, we'd love to add you to this awesome community of like-minded individuals. No Super Bowl un-American. No, I mean, it's just the NFL, NBA, just all the pro sports have gotten so watered down, dude. Like, I was watching Lakers versus Warriors game last night for like 2 minutes because I was like, I've always kind of followed LeBron James and whatnot, but he wasn't even playing last night. But just like watching that game, I was like, the NBA is so boring anymore. There's only like 2 legit teams that ever have a chance on winning the NBA Finals. Like, I don't even watch NBA anymore. NFL, I mean, there's always so much controversy with every game with officials and whatnot. Like, it looks like every game is bought anymore. I mean, it's just hard to get into anymore. And I mean, it is what it is. I guess I got better things I could be doing, like packing and whatnot tonight. So, I mean, I'm sure I'll probably turn it on for a few minutes, check out the score, and be like, oh, yep, Patriots are winning. Told y'all it was bought. But we'll see. But yeah, there's just no point in me watching it. Like I said, might turn it on for a few minutes, but probably won't take too much of my time for sure to do that. But yeah, it was awesome discussion that we had going on today. Like I said, we do these Sunday stock watches every single Sunday. I try to keep the time as close to 3 o'clock Central Time. That way everybody kind of has a good idea on when to be here every Sunday. It's 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. I believe like 1 p.m. on the West Coast. I don't know exactly. I'm not that great with time zones. What would that be? Mountain Time, noon, I think. I don't know. No, not noon. Mountain Time's before. That'd be 2 p.m. Mountain Time. We do this every single Sunday, and another way you can know is obviously hit that bell icon too once you subscribe, and you'll know when we go live all the time. I try to go live, like I said, I try to go live almost every single day, but if I'm not going to go live, then at the minimum I try to upload some sort of video for you guys. That way there's at least something here new for you guys to watch every day. But on that note, I'll go ahead and wrap the stream up. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. I hope the weather's as good for you as it is for me here in beautiful North Dallas. It's like 75 degrees or something now, so I'm gonna go out and run a few errands. I need to pick up some more moving stuff since we're moving across town next weekend. Have a lot of work to do there. But hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully you guys stay green this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow, more than likely for another Sunday stock watch, for another live stream, or at the minimum some sort of video upload. And like I said, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you here. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom in 2019 and beyond. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another live stream. Take it easy, guys.